The world is changing in some pretty incredible ways, and that includes the way we define wealth.
And also that legacy that I wish to pass on to the kids.
So I'm scouring Singapore to see how people are redefining what makes a truly rich life.
I think what it has is we've tried to preserve the soul of this place.
I'm visiting Calvin and his family to learn how they're nurturing new ideas of wealth and legacy while opening their home to the community.
I just feel peace.
When we think of legacy, some may think of inheritance, the things we leave behind for our loved ones, a house, a family heirloom, and monetary windfall. For others, legacy is so much more than that. Calvin So believes the greatest legacy is the one you can't put a price on. He was the youngest APAC vice chairman of an advertising group. In 2012, he left his job because he foresaw a huge disruption in our lives. Today, change happens fast, and people need to be prepared for a different future. Ideas for the industrial age no longer fit in our modern world.
Calvin!
Hey Nikki, welcome to One Kind House.
What a beautiful house it is. Thank you so much.
Come on in.
This home, as soon as I walk in, I just feel harmony. I just feel peace.
That's what happens when you invite nature into the house.
Oh, I can imagine. And this is where you grew up?
Yes, my grandparents bought it in '69, so
wow.
that was 52 years ago, and they had 12 kids. You see, not enough fingers. And we all grew up here in this kind of kampong-filled wonderland.
And so the idea of one kind house, I'm curious, how did it come about then?
I wanted to preserve this ecosystem of kindness. So I wanted the kids to grow up with this value set of kindness, but also to celebrate being one of a kind. To be different is okay, and especially in our culture where sometimes it's not, it's kind of frowned upon.
So is that how you define wealth?
I would define wealth as, in this case, having the luxury of time to create this, because this needs time. And also that legacy that I wish to pass on to the kids.
So how do you do that?
I could explain it to you, but I think it's best explained by my 15-year-old daughter, Eva. Would you like to meet her?
Yes, please.
Sometimes the answers to questions can only be found and experienced by trying something different. New doors lead to new possibilities.
Welcome. And this is Eva, my daughter, and this is our R&D lab.
A research and development room in your
the
own
house,
home.
yes.
Okay, why? Pray tell.
Well, we wanted a safe space that the kids can develop their ideas and prototype them and then bring them to market if possible.
What do you do here?
My first project when I was 9 was the one kind pants, and we're all wearing them
These! Oh, these are fun.
They're inspired by the Japanese or the Thai fisherman trousers, and my twist on it was using denim because I think it gives a really modern style.
But why did you think about this? I mean, what was the moment where you figured this is a problem I need to solve?
My dad.
My job was to find these problems when they're young and then get them to solve them.
Excellent. All right, and would you consider it a success?
I think I sold around 300 pairs.
That is so impressive. And what did you do with the money that you earned?
I reinvested them in my sewing machines.
Awesome. All right, what are you working on now?
So now I'm working on my jewelry collection, and it's a collection of 4 pieces that I launched last year. And at Chinese New Year, I was eating a love letter and I put it on my finger. I ate it halfway and I thought it looks a bit like a ring. And the story behind it is these Peranakan girls would give boys their love letters but hidden inside the biscuit. But instead of giving it to someone else, my idea was you give it to yourself, and that's like self-love.
That is so powerful. Why is that theme of self-love so important to you, especially at this age?
Self-love is all about knowing yourself and knowing who you are, and with that you can change the world.
You did good.
I did good.
You
right?
did good. Okay, so this room or this R&D lab is obviously an inspiration for you. What does it mean to you?
I think it means that you can kind of do anything you want, and it's possibilities powered by your imagination.
I love it. Okay, and do you share this space with anyone, or is this all yours?
I mean, unfortunately, I have to share it with my brother.
Okay.
So if you'd like to see him, he is actually outside. So
Yeah,
let
I'd
me
like
take-
to meet him.
Yeah. Then he'll tell you his story.
Love it. All right, Ava, see you
go.
later.
So this is how Calvin chooses to spend his time. But how is Dylan benefiting from this?
So I'll leave you with Dylan and I'll see you at dinner.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, listen, Dylan, I just came from the R&D lab.
Yeah.
Extraordinary place. What do you get out of it?
Unlike my sister, I've never been good in school. But the R&D lab was always a place where I could break stuff, make stuff. I have lots of time on my hands.
And what do you actually do with your time then?
Well, this is my latest project. This is the one-kind block, the world's first Lego-like hydroponic system, designed to grow cities greener and kinder, right? So you know, apartments aren't designed for urban farming. So this is a system that can adapt to any apartment.
How does it actually work though?
Well, this is the one-kind block. I imagined it was Lego-like, so it's plug and play, right?
Okay, so you open it and what goes in here?
Water, nutrients, you close it, you put the cups and the plants.
And what I love is looking around at all this nature and all this fresh food that's growing in your own backyard.
Yeah,
What's that like for you?
it's a part of my life and it's something that I can't live without. All right, so we'll use some of this for pesto that we will make later.
I love pesto.
Just take some. This
So that is
basil. Here we have mint. It adds a nice sort of light sweetness.
yes.
And then here, this is laksa leaf.
All right.
All right, so you can bring this to my grandmother, right? And I'll see you for dinner.
Okay, I will. I hope I won't disappoint you. I will attempt to cook.
Calvin's style of parenting has instilled self-confidence in his kids at an early age. Whether things work out or not, we know they'll eventually figure it out. Now that's resilience.
Mami So!
Hello, Ricky. What do you get from my garden?
All right, I come bearing gifts from the garden. Your grandson has harvested some mint, some basil, and some laksa leaves. So what
Oh.
should we do with this?
All right, you do take some and put it here and pound it and make it
Okay.
into a pesto.
Okay.
Later, you have to squeeze the lime and cut some chili.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to garnish the fish.
So, One Kind House, when this was put together, I know you all did it together, right? It's a labor of love. What kind of experiences and opportunities did it give you?
It gives me a chance to do what I like. As I'm retired, I like planting and I like cooking. So we plant some vegetables, some herbs, and whatever we get from the garden, we cook.
Well, before you retired, what was your line of work?
I was a teacher.
Okay, and they're obviously approaching education in a very different and unique way. So, how do you feel about that?
This kind of education prepares them for life.
I guess it's also the way of thinking that's different, isn't it?
Yes, I
In
think
what way
so.
do you think they're thinking differently than most?
We want them to be self-sufficient.
Woohoo! Speaking of it, this pesto, I think it's just about pounded correctly. All right, fish comes in. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, so what do you think? Is it good?
It's good.
Awesome, thank you.
Let's go and eat.
Yes, please.
Harvesting, cooking, and eating. I'm beginning to sense something really special in these activities. I can see the benefits of growing up in this environment.
Yes, look at this feast.
Super yummy, no? We want the time to make this elaborate dishes.
So the thing is, Calvin, I talk for a living. And in this very moment, I'm having such a hard time putting into words what I've experienced in this home today. Is this what you meant by experience what wealth means to me? This is legacy. Because if so, I think I get it.
I think that's what I set out to achieve. The best way to experience it is the stories and the actions that are lived by the children, right? And I think for me, that wealth enabled me to have that luxury of time. It meant a certain amount of courage to be able to get off the gravy train at first. What pushed me off was to acknowledge and to know that we're no longer in the industrial age. We're living in this new age where things are highly uncertain and things change very quickly. Then they need the values of creativity, resilience, the ability and the courage to ask why not, a conscientiousness of understanding where they are in this world, and then to look for problems to solve. And that's what we all set out to achieve, both for my mom and for the kids, to redefine what maybe retirement is and redefine what education is. And I had to work around our systems to achieve that.
So when someone says, physically show me what wealth looks like to you, you would say,
I would say, look at my kids, right? Wealth is not what we just wear on the outside, but if I look at my kids, hopefully they embody the wealth on the inside, a more conscientious consumption, where they think twice about what they do, they buy, and how they can help people. And to me, that's real wealth. That's the kind of hidden wealth that you don't have to show off.
And with that, Calvin pretty much sums up his entire perspective on life. The times are changing, and we need to start seeing and thinking about the world differently. There's more to wealth than dollars and cents.
Calvin and his family have reshaped the concept of wealth and legacy with the house that they've built. In a time of unprecedented change, they've chosen to be more caring and socially conscious. And that's not easy, especially when you have to think about your family's financial security. Citigold knows this, and they believe in planning for a life that's rich on your own terms.